do I need to apply that to me, where my life is, where my personality is, what my history is, the battles that I'm facing? Do I need to apply that to me? And the answer was actually no, I don't. So then the thoughts continue on. It's like, well then, so not every message out there is for me, and not every path that every successful man takes is the path that I need to take. Okay, this is just an illustration of how thinking works, and it works. If you go to church, it works with the Bible, it works with Scripture, it works with everything. We were in Kansas a few years ago, and 2 or 3 times we visited this church up the road. And I sat there one evening, and the pastor was giving his message, and I'm like, oh boy. And so it got done. It wasn't terrible, wasn't bad, but there were some things in it that were just not. So we're in the Suburban, headed back to the ranch, and I hear from the back seat one of my girls, "Daddy." And I had to grin because I knew what was coming. Yes. That verse he used tonight, is that what that verse actually means? And I'm like, no, honey, you're right. That's not what that verse actually means. However, you've got to understand, you got to balance stuff out. The man's overall message was correct, and the man's overall subject was correct. But it was some of the scriptures that he used to try to shore up and to back up and to prove his point were not accurate. They weren't for that. But she had been taught, as all my kids were, to not take anything that anybody says as a gospel without thinking it through and looking for the truth.